Welcome to Born Scholars, and today we are going to discuss about the importance of communication skills, and specifically the importance of writing in communication skills. Now, how many of you have been practicing writing? If you're doing so, that's great. But if you're not doing that, then today we are going to discuss how can you really do that. Now, we have to have some platform where we can write our piece of writing, and then even we get the validation. We also get some kind of a feedback on whether my writing is up to the mark or not. Um, and most important is that you get the positive comments in the beginning so that you get going. If you have the negative comments, then that's it. That's the end of the endeavor that you're going to start with. So most important thing is that you should have the positive comments around, and somebody should be able to recognize, somebody should be able to read your stuff and say, yeah, you did a good job. All right. Now, one of the method that I recently found is, now everybody is not on the professional platform. So I always talk about writing on LinkedIn, uh, the social media platforms that we are always a part of. We always are there, active on those platforms, and then we should make use of those platforms as much as possible. But it takes time to really get tuned to all that, and we always have that fear that I don't know if I'm writing on a professional platform and the people are real professional, I don't know whether they will even read my stuff. Now, you can choose another platform which I think you don't have to really worry about whether it's all professionals there, and let's not worry about that stuff. So the platform that we can think of is, or what I recommend to you, is medium.com. Now you can go to this platform and then register yourself, be a member. You can be a free member or you can be a paid member. You write your stories in there, and then people read your stories, and you will have followers, and you will have comments, you will have applause in the form of claps, which really boosts your confidence. And this is what you require. Somebody has to tell you that you are doing a good job. For instance, somebody has to tell me that I am also doing a good job. Only then I'll continue to be there, continue to talk to you, continue giving you or sharing my experiences with you. So it is, everybody needs a part, everybody needs a part, right? So that's what we are looking for always. Now let's talk about medium.com. So I have been using medium.com to write stories, and probably to ease out myself. That's the place where you um, you know pour your heart out. So yesterday, I want to discuss on here that I wrote a story yesterday, and I will read that story, and at the same time, we will discuss some of the difficult words that we will come across, and learn about this thing, and probably this might inspire you as to how we should be getting into the habit of writing. Let's not talk about reading at the moment. So it's about writing, and whatever comes to your mind, you should be able to express it. That's very, very important. Let's go to the article that I wrote on medium.com. You can read this article on medium.com as well, where I've written this, and you can read it there again if you are missing it. Or maybe you can, if you're logged in, maybe you can just go to my profile, Lalit Kondal, LalitKoundaal. It is AAL there in that profile, and then you can search for the story titled second largest industry in the let me just check what was the title. The title is I'm sorry, the title is, did you know Nollywood is the world's largest film industry? Now, Nollywood, what is Nollywood? I have not heard of it. So, this is what the story is all about. Okay, now let me read through the story. Now, what is Nollywood? I'm not even sure how first I came across the word Nollywood, but it grabbed my attention right away. I had only heard of Hollywood and Bollywood before. In India, we also have Bollywood, Tollywood, Collywood. As I dug means when you try to figure out, when you try to take out some information, that's called dug. When I dug a little deeper, I discovered that Nollywood is actually the second largest film industry in the world. Seriously? How is that possible? Okay. What about Bollywood? Romantic songs with couple dancing around the trees and those epic Hollywood films by Spielberg that I know of. The story stems from curiosity, perhaps even my concern about Bollywood, which led me to explore Nollywood, its evolution and influence, and the challenges it has faced. Stems from means the story originates from. So stem is another word that you should note it down as vocabulary. Evolution is when something you know comes out. I mean, from the, I would say, it is just taken shape, or it is just grown big. Yeah, so that's evolution. Its influence and challenges it has faced, highlighting its remarkable journey from modest origins to becoming a powerful presence in the global film industry. Now, Nollywood, the Nigerian film industry, has risen from to become a cultural powerhouse. Now, powerhouse is a source of energy. So it's something which, when we will use this term or the word in case whenever we say that it's providing energy to a lot many people around. So it's cultural powerhouse and a major force in the global film scene. It has won the hearts of the audience around and the world with its distinctive storytelling. Distinctive is different than the others, different than all existing at the moment. Distinctive. Plus, each story is different from one another. So they're not following the line, they're following distinctive. Distinctive. It's different from one another. Lively characters and a strong emphasis is for, strong emphasis. When you are talking about it, you are laying stress on something. So emphasis on social issues, crossing borders and connecting with people everywhere. Okay. Now, is Nollywood bigger than Hollywood? Absolutely. Nollywood is actually larger than Hollywood in many ways. People may not realize, means people will not understand. While Hollywood is often seen as a global leader in film, the true ranking places Bollywood first, followed by Nollywood and Hollywood. So So what is happening right now? I'm reading a story. You are getting to know about a new film industry, and this is what happens when we read, when we write. We try to express, and when we have to write, we will do a lot of research to actually write the stuff. Nollywood produces over 2,000 movies annually, significantly more than Hollywood's average of 400 to 500 films per year. In Nigeria alone, approximately 1,000 films were made in 2018. Popular Nollywood actors, like there are some actors mentioned, we need not, I'm not reading them, have become widely recognized names the convenient, I'm sorry, across the continent and beyond. Nollywood films are rich in cultural diversity, with many productions in different languages. They mention the languages as Yoruba, English, Hausa, Igbo. These are the languages that they have mentioned. Linguistic richness. Now, linguistic is something related to your language, where you have something related to your language. We will call it linguistics. There's a department of linguistics everywhere, which is more related to the study of languages. Now, origin and the growth. The Hollywood's root can be traced back to the late 20th century, when the industry began producing low budget direct to video films. The term the term Nollywood itself is a portmanteau. Portmanteau is the word blending of sounds and combining of two things. Now, they say Nollywood is Nigeria, and they wanted the woods from Hollywood, so it's like the blending of the two, and that has become Nollywood of Nigeria and Hollywood, basically reflecting the industry's aspirations to emulate. Emulate is copy or mimic the success of the American film industry. The early productions were often characterized by limited budgets, basic equipment, and the reliance on local talent. However, this did not deter the industry from flourishing. Flourishing is expanding, growing, you know, as how the crop grows, it expands, it covers the entire surface, so that's flourishing, a beautiful word. The rise of the Nollywood rise to prominence is topmost, can be credited to its ability to connect with local audience by addressing societal issues and reflecting cultural nuances. The film often portray the films often portray daily life in Nigeria, focusing on themes like family dynamics, traditions, and the struggles of ordinary people. Unlike Hollywood, Nollywood films are valued for their relatability and use of local language, making them accessible to a wide audience. Pioneering filmmakers means those filmmakers who are on the top of their creativity. They have done well, they have displayed some good results, they are pioneers. They are the best in Nigeria at the moment, those who can think of the industry's best possible thing. The industry's expansion was also supported by technological advancements, which made film production more affordable and accessible. The transition from analog to digital filmmaking enabled filmmakers to create content more quickly, further fueling the prolific growth of Nollywood. So, what we are doing right now is we are reading the piece of writing which I have written, and we are trying to find out some words the difficult words, the vocabulary words out of it. And as I told you, you can also try writing on medium.com. You can try to take the help of maybe the artificial intelligence to frame some of the words, frame some of the sentences that you don't know. But it's most important is that you get the thought and you just try to write it in your words, and then you take the help of someone to curate your words, to put them in the proper shape. Okay, now the transition, I'll read further. The transition from analog to digital filmmaking enabled filmmakers to create content more clearly, more quickly, further fueling the prolific growth of Nollywood. Okay, now, further, I've written about the challenges faced by Nollywood. While Nollywood has achieved remarkable success, it is not without its challenges. One significant hurdle is obstacle. One significant hurdle is the issue of piracy, which has plagued the industry. What a beautiful word it is. I'll try to make use of the which has plagued the industry. Plagued means troubled and diseased. So diseased the industry for years. Piracy, piracy is when somebody steals something and you are doing actually the damage. You're actually doing the damage. Piracy not only robs filmmakers of their rightful earnings but also hinders the growth of the industry by discouraging investors. Efforts to combat piracy and establish strong copyright protections are outgoing but remain a persistent challenge. Good. Okay. So, the idea of today's discussion was to actually urge you, to actually tell you that you must get into a bit of a writing every day. Maybe you can start with some kind of a small paragraph where you mention or where you write about your days. How did your day unfold? How did it go? You can just write with that piece of writing, and then later when you really fall in love with this, then you will get different ideas to actually write about, and there is a lot to pick up. There's a lot to express in this world, and you should do that. You never know what piece of writing might really turn out to be a one of the best article in on the platform where you have written. And with the compilation, maybe someday there's some compilation of this might turn out to be one of the best seller. I think it was there was a book called Five Regrets of Dying. I think that's what it was. Five Regrets of Dying. Yeah, that was a Five Regrets of Dying. It was written by Miss Brown. She has written this book. Yeah, Brownie Ware. I'm sorry, Brownie Ware. It was written by Brownie Ware, and she was a nurse. She was a nurse in the palliative care in some hospital, and where she has been writing about the worries or the last thought process. She was collecting the thought process of all the people who are in the palliative care, almost about to die, and she compiled all those observations, and um, later that became one of the best sellers, Five Regrets of Dying. So it's not that we always worry about where am I working, keep always that stress with ourselves that I'm not having a posh and a lavish and a good place to work with. You can always come out with something good like this, even in that situation. So it's important that we should at least begin with something, and you should begin with a piece of writing every day, at least for half an hour. Just practice it. Just do that. And I'm sure your communication skill will reach the next level. It'll reach the next level, and you will find a lot of improvement there. Those who found this really interesting, or those who found that you could really drive something out of it, please write comments in the comment box, and maybe what you want to know about, you can write in the comment box. And those who want to have a communication with me can write to me. My email ID is in the description box, along with my number out there. You can ping me there. Those who want to have the conversation with me, and they think that I can really help them in transforming their life and improve their communication skills. Thank you very much. Thanks for being there. See you next time.